Hey guys, so this is just a video, more of a review of companies, not the planes. This is about Bananahobby and Nitroplanes. As far as I know, they're kind of connected companies. Different names, but as far as I think, they're kind of connected companies. Basically, I just want to get the word out just about these companies. I'm not really here to bash any companies. Some of their products are okay, and a big emphasis on okay, not great, not good, okay. Basically, I've got a few planes from Bananahobbies and Nitroplanes, and let's see what I have. I got from Bananahobby, I have the the A10, the AMX Vector Jet. From Nitroplanes, I have the F4E, the F117. Have a couple more too, I think, but those are just a few examples. I've got also behind me, which you probably can't see, got the F16, and I've also got the F15 on the way. Now these are going to be my last two purchases, or my last purchase, the F16, which is on the way already, my last purchase from Bananahobbies or Nitroplanes. I'm never going to buy from them again. I just wanted to get some products, some planes from them and jets from them, and test them out stock and let you guys see how they worked. And I think I've done a pretty good job of showing you guys. Some of them I could fly. All of them have horrible flight characteristics. Horrible. Now, on top of the poor flight characteristics, one thing I really don't like about them is there's blatant lies. Let me just give a couple examples. I'm not going to go into exact specifics, but one of the blatant lies on their site is many of their jets will say this plane can perform all these types of tricks, and included in their list will be knife edges. Now knife edges, as all of us know that can do them and know about them, it's where your plane, let's say this is your plane straight up and down. A knife edge is when your plane is sideways flying straight. So one wing is facing the ground, one wing is facing the sky. A knife edge requires a rudder, okay? Lots of their planes and jets that have no rudder, they'll say right there on the page, this plane can knife edge. Now how do you expect a knife edge without a rudder? On top of that, many of those planes will say this plane is a full four-function plane, including aileron, elevator, throttle, and rudder control. The thing is, most of these planes that they're saying that on don't have rudder. What they're talking about is the steerable nose wheel, and they're counting that as a rudder. That's not a rudder, that's a steerable nose wheel. So that's another big lie. Another thing is, many of their planes and jets, especially the jets, planes not so much, but especially the jets, they'll say they have a 10 to 15 minute flight time. Now anyone that has flown EDFs knows, EDF jets, knows that flight times are not that great. They're great planes, they're fun to fly, but flight times are usually 5 minutes maximum. If you fly at low throttle, you can sometimes push 6 or 7 minutes if you're lucky, but usually my batteries are going dead within 3 to 4 minutes. And their planes have such poor flight characteristics, especially in turns, and when you're trying to do any type of turn or any type of maneuver, you have to keep full throttle or your plane's going to stall with how these planes are made. So you're going to get about 3 minutes on a battery. So I'm not sure why they're saying they get 10 to 15 minutes flight time. Other than that, they also say this plane is great for a beginner. Now who on earth is going to say an EDF jet is good for a beginner? Not a single one of these planes I tested would I have been able to fly a few months ago. And I just started flying planes and jets 8 months ago. Before that I flew some helicopters. But if I had bought one of these jets when I first started flying, it would have crashed directly into the ground. Yet on their pages they say, oh, these planes are great for the beginner, super stable and easy to fly. Not at all, not at all. I have trouble myself, and I consider myself a very good flyer. I have trouble myself keeping some of these in the air. Now, another thing is, let's go over some of their brands here. Guan Li makes the Catalina seaplane. I have the brushless version. Now, I've actually heard of 2 other people have the same problem as me. And what the problem is, with the Catalina, it's a propeller motor, but on the front of the wing, there's a stick, wooden stick, that goes into the wing, and then there's a metal motor mount on the front of the stick, okay? Now on that metal motor mount is of course where the motor is mounted and then the propeller's there. me and 2 other people, without crashing, just during normal flight, that metal motor mount, not the wood, not the plastic, that metal motor mount has broken in 2. And of course, it caused problems. Luckily, I was able to land my Catalina. It's still in one piece, but I need a new motor mount now. But the metal motor mount broke. That's pretty ridiculous. No crashes, no nothing, and I'm not the only one that's had that happen. I've got a couple other messages on YouTube saying the exact same thing. So, pretty poor quality coming from that. Also, my A10, as well as my AMX Vector Jet, as well as my F117, all of them have nose wheels that turn, and also they have, landing gear. Every single one of them, the nose gear is horrible, comes loose. Even when I tighten it up, it's very wobbly, very unsturdy, not very well made. Also on my A10, second flight, the landing gear did not pop off the body. The metal landing gear that goes from the plane body to the wheel broke in 2 on a soft landing. I did not bash this into the ground. I didn't even bounce it. Soft landing, one of the wheel landing gears metal parts broke in 2. I mean, come on, use a little bit stronger metal. That's ridiculous. Let's see. What else happened? I'm sure other stuff has happened. I had some ideas in my head, but it just kind of lost some more ideas. Pretty much haven't had many good luck with Nitroplanes or Bananahobby. I have EDF jets, I have planes, and all of my EDF, oh, I know what I was going to say, I'll get back to it. All of my EDF planes and jets, though, that I've gotten from Horizon Hobby and from Tower Hobbies, they have lasted, and they have continued to work great for a long time. In fact, my P51 DBL was my very first larger size 4-channel plane, and it to this day is still flying and in very good condition. I have crashed it, and I have fixed up a couple things, but it's still flying today. All my jets and planes from Bananahobbies, most of them get a couple flights and then they start falling apart. They just don't last. The A10, which is what I was going to say earlier, my 3rd flight, after that landing gear broke, I fixed that up. Then my 3rd flight, I bring it up in the air, one of the 2 ESC burns out. Now I was not using a bigger battery, not a higher C battery, I wasn't doing anything special with it, it was all stock. I get up in the air, one of the ESCs burns out, lose control in one motor, crash, boom. So, wasn't good. So basically, the airframes themselves, they will fly. Will they fly good? Probably not. The foam they're made out of, it's nowhere near as strong as Z foam or aerosol foam, which correspondingly Horizon Hobby and Tower Hobby use for most of their planes. It just breaks into 1,000 pieces when you crash. Whereas I have crashed my P51 DBL, like I said, it was my first plane. I've crashed that, and if anything does break, it's usually a clean, easy break. A little bit of glue, some toothpicks, you're fixed. You crash one of these planes from Bananahobby or Nitroplanes, you're in 50 pieces. There's not much to do. Usually it's a big wreck. So I just wanted to get the word out there. If you guys want to get into this hobby, don't go the cheap route. Get yourself a nice plane. They're really not that much. You can get the P51D, you can get the Trojan T28 from Park Zone. They're under 200 bucks. I think they're both about 169, maybe even a little less. That's for, I think, the plug and play. So you'd have to add a receiver. But you can get the bind and fly also, not that much more, and you're going to have a lot more luck. If you're starting to get into this hobby, I would really recommend either starting with the Park Zone. There's a few choices. There's the Park Zone Slow V, which it's getting a little older. It doesn't use lipos, but it's still a great flyer. It's kind of like the Slow Stick, and it's a great plane to learn on. The next step up, which I think is a better choice, but it's a little more expensive, the Slow V Ready to Fly is 99 bucks. One step up would be the Hobby Zone. The Hobby Zone Super Cub LP. That's $170, and it's a great choice. I've got lots of videos.